So this is going to be a very, very important matchup all round. Big implications, as you say, Luke, as we jump into the first of this best of 3 series. Luxembourg, the team in blue. Wales, the team in orange.
And Wales it is with the most recent solid result, that being over Monaco. Maybe a little bit too solid for them. Maybe they're a little complacent heading into this one as they felt pretty dominant against Monaco. But I don't think Luxembourg are a team that you can afford any kind of relaxed vibes against. We know we've had the pleasure of casting players like Loris Raptor in Uni Rocketeers, the European university scene. They're actually headed to the World Championships in Dallas with Kit SC. So it's going to be a player to watch there, and a player I'm familiar with at least. And a player I'm interested to see how they perform on this kind of stage.
Well, a minute in, and it's looking like it might be Wales to open up first here. Loris Raptor trying to take this one out of the corner. Luxembourg, definitely a very solid team, but that is quite the angle from X-Beta.
Yeah, not a bad little start here. X-Beta off the corner, just waits for it and times the flip to perfection. Somehow picks out the top corner on the near post from that angle. Goodness, difficult to save and a difficult way to go behind. You can't fault Luxembourg too much. You cannot be expecting a shot of that quality from a position of that nature.
Particularly when Luxembourg did sit out round 2. And their round 1 warm-up match was against Monaco, who are not quite at the same standard as this Welsh team, but Loris Raptor will be fuming that he hasn't put that in the back of the net. He should have buried it.
Now Wales are going to hit him on the counter, going over the top of Loris Raptor. It is caught by Kuroi. Big dunk there by X-Beta. Infield pass to no one. Loris Raptor latches onto the end of it. Rocks it towards the top corner. Maybe slightly wide, but the pressure setting up Luxembourg with the equalizer.
Fantastic goal here. Loris Raptor just getting it round the corner. And someone's going to have to remind me how to pronounce Prizzy. Is it Prizzy? I'm going to say Prizzy. It's probably Prize or something like that. But that was a really, really nicely worked goal from Luxembourg. Let us know in the chat. Make sure we're pronouncing that correctly. Kuroi just arcing that ball over the top, straight down Route 1. Luxembourg definitely feeling a little bit more themselves after a couple of minutes played here against Wales. They just needed to acclimatise to the standard of play that is expected of them. And that is a magnificent pass inside from Loris Raptor to Kuroi. Oh, it's a fantastic goal.
Goodness. Yeah. The defense looking for the boost to make the follow-up save, and Natsumi, despite snatching that corner boost, cannot get up to that with the ferocity of that type of shot. Luxembourg settling in, as you said, and this, you know, if we look at some implications outside this tournament real quick, I saw, oh goodness, okay, forget the outside of the tournament. Let's take a quick look at this replay because Wales have just scored an absolute scorcher.
Oh my word, Natsumi with a pitch perfect pass upfield to Delinquent, and he's been practicing those cherry pickers ever since custom trading packs were released for Rocket League. He does not need a second invitation. All square at the halfway mark.
Okay, if I may, players, I do see some Kit SC players in the chat as well supporting the teammate, but this is a good introduction. I'm not sure if Loris Raptor's played lands before, but this is just a nice, timely preparation for those worlds, the CRL world title in Dallas. And look, it's not just a prep for that, right? It's a moment in its own right. But this is fantastic for the teammates that he'll be playing with this. Being able to see him perform in this kind of situation, in front of a crowd, on stage, face-to-face with his opposition, high-pressure environment. So some fantastic experience. We've touched on it all day long, right? That this is magnificent experience for this level of player coming in and pushing that bubble scene. And I don't think there's a downside to this kind of tournament, right? It's fantastic to see. It's fantastic to see these players thriving in these environments as well. And both these teams, all the players on them thriving right now. It's a 2-2 matchup with 90 seconds remaining.
So exciting. And I actually saw this Luxembourg side, or Team Letzerburg as they go by, I think at least on their own time, in post Esports Masters over the weekend, and they looked absolutely sensational then. They look very, very good now. Strong competition here from the Welsh side, almost taking a late lead here as we approach the final 60 seconds. This might be the most closely contested match that we've seen on stream all day. Fantastic gameplay.
Xbader infield, the 1-2 pass into the flick. Kuroi, a little bit awkward, momentumless, manages to get the reverse save. And away to the corner where Loris Raptor can latch onto some boosts and try to latch onto the ball here. But the heavy touch, not the one. The shot towards the top corner is high and a little bit wide. And Wales able to clear away, surviving a scary moment on defense.
Getting right back in the faces of these Luxembourg players at the blue end here. Looking for an angle. That's up off of the backboard. Loris Raptor finds some solace in the relative safety of the corner, but with 15 seconds left, nowhere on the pitch is safe, and Wales bearing down upon them. The teeth closing around the throats of this Luxembourg side. Delinquent all the way back into his own half here, and I think he's inadvertently set up the team in blue. Luxembourg nearly finding a late winner there, but as it stands, we have overtime in game one.
I'm here for it. A nice tight contest deserving of an overtime in game number one. Again, best of three. The next goal decides who goes to match point, who has 2 match points. Just needing to win one of those to make it through with the W. Right now, Wales needing to defend. An explosion has come in, but suddenly they're counter-attacking. It's shut down by Loris Raptor, but only as far as the Wales offense, who continue to push forward. Not relinquishing hold of this ball just yet, forcing Loris Raptor and Luxembourg to work, but they do manage to get a crossfield ball down the other end. But would you believe it? Here come Wales once again, albeit briefly.
Very, very dangerous territory. Overtime, always scary, but in a best of 3, the next goal will move one of these teams onto series point in a crucial game, a crucial series in this group stage. Will have an undoubtable effect on the seeding here. Even if a team manages to win the series after losing game 1, it will lose them a crucial point they would have gained had they swept. So really important stuff here for both sides as Wales looks to take round the corner. It's under the crossbar. Just one singular defensive error sees Natsumi through on goal, and Wales take the first game.
And Natsumi continuing the trend of what we saw earlier in the day watching Wales, and that is scoring goals, and not just scoring them, but scoring them in big moments. And not too many bigger than in an overtime for the win. So Wales coming through a difficult game number 1 here. Impressive stuff at times. I thought Luxembourg were going to overwhelm them, but Wales, they were resurgent and managed to defender or the goalkeeper, but close enough that they're registered as shots. Very difficult to deal with when that goal mouth and the woodwork around it is just being peppered by the ball and by the offense, and just incredibly hard to react to. You've got to go because, you know, maybe a couple pixels down and it's in the back of your net off the crossbar. You've got to use the resources to make what you think is probably a save and try to get it clear, and eventually that pressure tells you run out of boost and the ball's in the back of your net. Something that Wales did do fairly well throughout that game. But Wales have got to watch out for the team plays in transition for Luxembourg. They've been pretty decent in those places, but right now needing to figure things out on defense. A little bit of a calamity there at the back, and they're lucky to escape without a goal against.
Well, no goals yet in the opening 45 seconds of game 2. Wales narrowly took victory in overtime in game 1, and they'll look to close out the entire series here. And it just goes to show, with teams like this, so evenly matched, it can come down to a coin flip, right? Just who makes that one error, and especially in best of 3s, there is just so little time to redeem yourself, to make up for those mistakes and come back later on. Just a single goal could separate you, and if it happens 2 games in a row, that's a clean sweep. A series that really shouldn't be one, that doesn't feel like one, can be devastating. So let's see what these two teams can make of it. It's been an aggressive start for Luxembourg so far, but with no goals yet. Wales might be able to capitalize on an opportunity coming forward. They can't quite manage it, but my goodness, we're in for a very exciting few minutes here.
Yeah, all locked up. Next goal, huge implications. Right now, Wales trying to break out. They do manage to get over one, but the 50-50 in midfield is pretty neutral. Natsumi with the back pass. Looks to get the bump, finds contact. The net is open, but the ball will not drop. It needs some help. It gets it. And Natsumi able to prod that underneath the diving defender.
Well, he scored last in game one. He'll score first in game two. Natsumi off the back of a sensational pass there from X-Beta. Going to be hitting the back of the net for the first time here in the second game. Wales very happy with that lead. Prize afraid at the back line there. It was uncomfortable, but he made it look easy. Takes it away. 2 minutes gone. 3 left to play. A 1-goal lead. Looking to become 2 here as Wales move forward, but they're a man down at the back line right now. And Luxembourg moving forward into this vulnerable Welsh defense. Natsumi, though, just calm and collected. Takes it off his backboard with ease.
Stroke of half time now. Luxembourg needing a win, needing a goal, and oh my goodness, it's X-Beta though, on behalf of Wales, getting that all-important next one, and it's a great little play over the top with the flip reset.
Nothing more to say about that, is there? What a goal. And 2-0 in favor of Wales is going to put so much pressure on this Luxembourg side. They undoubtedly have the quality and the time to bring this back, but do they have the mentality? Is this their first LAN experience? And if so, can they hold up under the pressure of being series point down, 2 goals down, on stage, in front of a crowd, live on stream? It's just a lot of different things adding up, amounting to a tremendous amount of pressure on these young players, and a third goal from Wales isn't going to make it any easier.
We talked about important goals being scored by Natsumi, but it's X-Beta here with 2 timely efforts. Just over half time, but 2 goals to not just extend the lead, but really drive the dagger into the back of Luxembourg. If this finds a way in, it'll be even worse. I don't know how. Natsumi just not quite finding the read, and Luxembourg will escape with that, and it might give them an avenue back into this game, but less than 2 minutes remaining. They've got to take advantage of the roads that they can find, and right now they're in the wrong end, back defending in their own third.
Oh, Prize trying to make something very clever happen down midfield and almost able to pull it off. But as it stands, they need a goal every 30 seconds just to tie this one up and force a second overtime. Didn't work for them in game 2. They don't want it to have to work for them in game 2 even. It didn't work for them in game 1. And they're just peppering this orange goal. Surely one of these is going to find the back of the net. Oh my goodness, Team Luxembourg, what are you doing? How have they not scored?
Oh, again.
Oh my goodness.
Kuroi just can't get the read off the bounce. Surely a goal comes from this. It's a shot. A bump would have secured it right there, but it's not to be just yet. A ball to the backboard, not going to be help. They need some spacing away from that backboard. They get it, but in the end, it's just too solid, too much space. Loris Raptor needing to work too hard with not enough boost, and 40 seconds remaining. The golden opportunity to get back into the game and into the series might be gone unless we see a miracle comeback from Luxembourg at this point, but Wales holding on at the last, somewhat fortuitously, it has to be said.
Goodness me. I mean, that is devastating right there from Luxembourg. That is the kind of sequence of events that can decimate your team's mentality. And whilst they're going to lose this series now, and they probably would have either way, that sort of sequence of play could have such a knock-on effect on their mental fortitude moving forward in this competition. So it'll be really interesting to see if and how that affects them in later series. But right now, we have to say congratulations to Wales after a very, very closely contested first game. They have run away with it in game number 2.
And look, I think both teams